Let's get to the news. A very good morning from wherever you're watching us. My name is Marie Yambo, and always a pleasure to have you join us. Now, the deployment of 1,000 police officers to war-torn Haiti is in the pre-deployment stages. This is according to Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki, who says the troops are set to leave following the signing of reciprocal agreement between Kenya and Haiti as advised by the courts. This comes as violence escalated over the weekend in Haiti's capital, with heavily armed gangs attacking the National Palace. The U.S. has since issued a travel advisory to its citizens not to travel to Haiti, citing the security situation is unpredictable and dangerous. Frederick Parsayo with the details.
Days after the Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry was in Kenya to sign the reciprocal agreement that gave the green light for the deployment of Kenyan officers to Haiti, Interior CS Kithure Kindiki says it's all system go.
All the other programs are in place, including the status of forces agreement and the laws on detention, arrests, and other enforcement measures are now in place. The standard operation procedures are in place, and Kenyan police officers will be just part of the multinational security mission in Haiti.
According to Kindiki, Kenya has adhered to the court directive and is the final stages of sending troops as the lead nation in the multinational security operation in Haiti.
There was a small court matter. That small matter has been resolved because the court said we needed to have a reciprocal agreement with Haiti. That reciprocal agreement has already been signed about a week ago.
Additionally, he says all the paperwork has been concluded.
Kenya is the lead nation, but there are so many other countries that have pledged to contribute troops. And this came from the mandate of the United Nations Security Council. So it's part of our international obligations.
This comes as violence erupted over the weekend in Haiti's capital. Heavily armed gangs attacked the National Palace and set part of the Interior Ministry on fire with petrol bombs. It comes after a sustained attack on the international airport, which remains closed to all flights. The U.S. government has since issued a Level 4 travel advisory for citizens not to travel to the war-torn country.
President William Ruto has challenged county assemblies to amend the standing orders to introduce question time for county executive committee members to respond to and effectively enhance accountability. Ruto, who held a meeting with Kenya Kwanza allied MCAs, also urged them to internalize the coalition's manifesto and educate those at the grassroots on the government's agenda.
State House in Nairobi played host to ward representatives allied to the ruling coalition to reflect on gains made since the government assumed power. President Ruto, who hosted the meeting, urged them to understand the political alliance's manifesto and explain it to Kenyans at the grassroots level.
Find out how many community health promoters are in your ward. Nikina nani? Are they doing something? Ama they are not doing anything. Assist the county, assist us, so that, because these are people we have given equipment, these are people we are paying a stipend. It is in your interest to know where a community health promoter is.
The president further urged MCAs to mobilize farmers for registration to ensure they register for subsidized fertilizer.
Leader in a ward, friends, make it your responsibility. You know, make it your responsibility. Umambia wakulima sasa, serikali imepanga, iko mbolea ya 2,500, wewe register, na tuna mpango ya kulete kutoka huko mbali, ikuja hapa karibu.
Tushikilie mashinani, zile program ziko, msipigie debe, na mutembee na kifua mbele, mkiwa na hakikisho ya kwamba mbele iko sawa.
Additionally, he challenged the county ward representatives to amend the standing orders to allow for the county executive committee members to answer questions in the assemblies to enhance their oversight role.
Ministers today, CSS, go to parliament to be asked questions. I want to encourage you as MCAs to also amend so that CECs wakuje Bunge muwaulize maswali. Sindio? Improve oversight. We want to improve oversight. Kila mtu aulize maswali. Nataka kujibu maswali, tunampangia virago anahama.
The inaugural meeting is expected to show the party ahead of next month's UDA grassroots election amid calls for establishment of by MCAs.
Thank you, Gladys Mongai, for that report. The management of Mama Lucy Hospital has refuted delivered twins at the facility but was only given one baby. The hospital, which has maintained only one baby was born, says the allegations are tarnishing the facility's name. The information by the hospital has been corroborated by the family, which says initial were based on misinformation.
It is this clip of a scuffle at Mama Lucy Hospital doing rounds on social media that has caused a public Those in the clip alleging that a woman had delivered twins at the hospital only to be handed one child. The hospital has come out to clear the air, saying that the 31-year-old woman who was admitted on the 4th of this month only delivered one child.
An ultrasound was done, which revealed a single at 30 weeks and 6 days. So this was not corresponding to her gestation by dates, and hence we added her diagnosis. We stabilized the mother, optimized her care, and once we were ready to deliver the baby, we opted for a cesarean. The chances for the baby.
The mother gave birth to one single child. She had one single fetus, actually, but stable as it is right now. And therefore, that video clip that is going around is misplaced, is not true, of which we are not certain what the aim and the agenda is.
Ile video si halali na ujumbe kweli ni kwamba mama alijifungua mtoto mmoja na hasa saa hizi vile tunaongea yupo wodini.
According to the family, expected twins, only to be informed by the hospital that it was a single child, information Douglas Morara, the father, agrees with.
Yeah, ni kuwa alikuwa ajifungue matwins, lakini wakati tumefuatilia tumepata ukweli ya kwamba mtoto alikuwa ni mmoja. Na wakati tumefuatilia yoyote tumepata ukweli mahali iko. Hapa katikati huwa maconfusion inakuwa ni mingi, lakini mimi nimefuatilia nimepata ukweli ya kwamba mtoto ni wa kike na ni mmoja.
The hospital has maintained standards and that it will not sit back as their image is tarnished.
We've had challenges in the past, accusations every day. Lucy that, mistreatment of a patient this. We are going to push back on any matters that are tarnishing Mama Lucy Kibaki's name. Bye.
The mother of the child and child are recuperating at the hospital and are said
Muslim faithful have been challenged to embrace the spirit of forgiveness, tolerance, and to observe the holy month of Ramadan. Speaking at Jamia Mosque in Nairobi during the first day of Ramadan, a section of Muslim leaders at the same time to remember the less fortunate in the society. The 30-day period is marked during the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. Faithful across the world focus on prayers, fasting, charity, and religious devotion.
Local Muslim faithfuls have joined their counterparts in the world in observing the holy month. It begins on Monday after the sighting of the new crescent moon on Sunday evening. At Jamia, Muslim faithfuls thronged at the worship center for prayers during the first day of fasting. Here, Muslims to help the less fortunate in the society.
because this is the time where we need to show good gesture and show that we can care also for our sisters who are unable to pay for themselves during this time of Ramadan.
Kwa katika mwezi kama huu inapaswa Waislamu kukithirisha kuwasaidia wasiojiweza katika jamii, katika familia, mtu kufanya bidii kuweza kulisha kwa kadri ambayo unayoweza.
They urged the political class to promote national unity and rally Kenyans in nation building.
Shida yao ni mostly ni kabila. Kabila hajasifiwa katika takana, watu wawache maneno ya kabila na wawe watu ambayo wakiishi kindugu na salama.
The Muslim faithful gratitude to the government for scrapping the levy on imported dates Ramadan.
Every Muslim breaks his fast with a date. It is in a high demand. So if the government takes such important steps to that, and we hope that we will continue with the same spirit.
The 30 days period is marked during the night Islamic calendar, where Muslim faithfuls across the world focus on Tarawih prayers, fasting, charity and religious devotion. Fasting is season, but there are exceptions for children, the elderly, the sick, expectant or nursing women and
The government has been urged to allocate more funds to the National Council for Persons with ensure their matters are fully addressed. Stakeholders drawn from different organizations and entities funds has crippled many projects that seek to address PWDs. They spoke during the launch of the Strategic Plan 2023-27 for the National Council for Persons with Disabilities in Nairobi.
Calls for the government to inject more funds into the disability kit resonated during the launch of the Strategic Plan 2023 to National Council for Persons with Disabilities.
This is the time. The gap that has been there, we want an increment as their funding so that they achieve their passion, their focus, their dreams and their objectives.
According to National Council for Persons with Disabilities Executive, key and life-changing programs for persons with disabilities have remained unrealized due to the scarcity of resources.
We have decentralized the disability medical assessment process from Nairobi to the counties. We have entered into partnership that have made it possible to provide education assistive devices against the budgetary challenges.
People are now shy to openly, show that they do not care about persons with disabilities. Aggressions that are done in subtle ways. Individuals who are not promoted because they are seen to be lesser workers. Women who they have a disability.
Speaking at the same forum, Social Protection Principal Secretary Joseph Motari to pass the Social Protection Bill that has already been approved by Cabinet, saying it will be a game changer on matters to do with PW.
We continue to support the Council, both in terms of enhancing its programs and ensuring that the necessary policies and legislation promote disability inclusion are in place.
I also note that this would be well supported if persons with disabilities 2003 was amended to conform with the Constitution of Kenya 2010. The 12th Parliament worked with it and left it there.
First Lady efforts by the spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigadi, to eradicate alcoholism, drugs and substance abuse among the termed as admirable Pastor Dorcas' dedication and commitment in saving the young generation.
Speaking during the 10th annual Nyeri County Prayer Breakfast, the First Lady emphasized the need to embrace family values as a prerequisite to achieving a morally strong nation.
We must work tirelessly to strengthen families, protect our youth, and instill them the respect and love for God and man, as well as values of integrity, hard work, and compassion.
Best institutions ought to work closely with the government in a bid to transform the lives of affected by alcohol and drug menace.
I commend the efforts of Her Excellency, my sister, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, who has been at the forefront of addressing our young men in combating alcoholism and drug abuse.
On her part, Pastor Dorcas Gachagua protected as they hold the destiny of a country.
And it is the children that actually will propagate. And if the children are dead, a community will be dead.
Addressing the same event, led by Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga, called for collaboration in the ongoing crackdown on establishments selling illicit brews within the county.
Issues from the root, and I believe it is possible, and we must do it. If we don't do it now, who will ever do it in this country?
Our efforts together and eradicate the vices that are threatening the fabric of our families and of our youth.
My prayer is that we continue holding together, believing in the power of prayer, loving one another on where we are going.
A look at business. Corporation is set to inject 7 billion shillings to help small and medium enterprises invest more in innovation. The program, dubbed Supporting Enterprise Recovery, seeks to address market failures in access to finance by MSMEs in the country.
International Financial Corporation estimates that about 43% of SMEs in development an unmet financing need of nearly $4.1 trillion. Lending to MSMEs has further dropped error due to their risky nature.
Estimates of SME funding gap of $19.38 billion, almost 30% of GDP. This is a significant amount. So what we can clearly see in that marketplace for MSME funds.
To this end, MSMEs in transport, agriculture, logistics, trade, among others, are set to benefit from funding through to finance and enterprise recovery, safer project that will provide innovating financial solutions and support. The concessional loan of up to 7.1 billion shillings will be channeled from the National Treasury to Kenya Development Corporation and to several participating financial institutions and SACCOs at an interest rate of 8.5%.
Initiative aims to break down financial barriers that are faced by MSMEs through a three.
These funds, we are going to sensitize and train the beneficiaries. That is one, and indirectly de-risking the fund. Second, security and collateral. The eligibility requirements to access this fund has been lessened.
Individual micro-enterprises will access loans ranging from 7,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings, while small enterprises themselves of loans ranging from 150,000 to 250,000 shillings with a repayment period of 3 years.
Facilities based on the liquidity gap that these various institutions have, so that then they can lend to the
fund. The government has disbursed loans totaling 47 billion shillings to 22 million. Of Hustler Fund defaults stood at nearly 11 billion shillings, putting the overall repayment rate of loans disbursed at 72%.
The EAC Secretariat will be conducting an evaluation at 5 border posts to address emerging issues affecting trade. EAC Deputy Secretary General in charge of Customs, Annette Mutawe Semuambe, said the evaluation will be used to craft measures to enhance cross-border trade at least 40% in 5 years from current 11%.
Cross-border trade stands at an average of 11% within the East African community. This is a concern to the trading bloc that has commissioned a study to identify and address the issues slowing trade. Over the next 60 days, the EAC Secretariat plans to undertake a review of processes at border points comprising Namanga, Mutukula, Kobero Kabanga, and Legu Nimule.
We'll also look at Namanga, the border between Kenya and the United Republic of Tanzania. Those that use that border will usually see quite a long queue of trucks. So we'll try and understand why are trucks spending time at the border, what are some of the issues that don't allow for quick flow of goods. And the CEO for EABC already came up with some good proposals, such as a lane that is dedicated to goods from intra-EAC trade. So we'll try to investigate some of those issues a bit more.
A survey conducted by the EAC Secretariat indicates that harmonization of policies among EAC member states could help boost cross-border trade.
We are pushing as EABC to have a green lane for goods produced within the region. Should not should enjoy free circulation, should move quickly across borders, should not be mingled with imported goods, so that we are able to disaggregate what is produced within EAC and what is coming from outside.
Semwemba said evaluation of operations at key border points will inform policy review and consequently boost trade and movement of persons across the regional bloc.
We have mechanisms in place for reporting, we have mechanisms in place for monitoring, but we also we recognize that the region has evolved, and perhaps we now need to rethink these approaches so that we can come up with new ways of how we can try to eliminate non-tariff barriers in the region.
The target is to grow intra-EAC trade to at least 40% in the next 5 years.
From sports, we head from business, that is, we head to sports, where local rally drivers are putting final touches to their cars in preparation for the WRC Safari Rally Kenya, with high expectations of a good performance. I beg your pardon, in the Easter Championship, Kenya paraplegic rally driver Nikhil Sachania and Team A1's Minesh Rathod are among the Kenya national entries who will be aiming for the podium among the world's elite, whose containers have started to dock in the country.
Kenya paraplegic rally driver Nikhil Sachania, who will be co-driven by Deep Patel, has expressed faith in his hand-controlled Mitsubishi Evolution 10, which he will be taking for a road test this weekend. He has a good outing in last year's Safari Rally, where he won the Group N category and hopes to finish among top 15 overall.
So yeah, currently you can see the car has been stripped down. The recce is not until the 24th, when we'll head out to Naivasha, so there's still some time left for recce. But in terms of preparation, we're almost done. We should have the car assembled and ready to go by the end of the weekend.
Minesh Rathod, who finished 20th overall in 2023 behind Nikhil, also expressed his readiness for the upcoming Safari Rally, where he will be navigated by Britain's Gordon Noble this time round in another Mitsubishi Evolution 10, which he believes will perform better and take him to the podium.
Matarajio tunaomba pakuwe pazuri. Wageni wale wanatoka nje, wale wanakuja kutoka nchi za jirani na za ngambo. Tuwe na event ambayo itakuwa inawaridhisha, inawafurahisha, na tuweze kuhudumisha hiyo event kwa ajili ya watoto na watoto ambao watatufuata sisi.
The WRC Safari Rally Kenya will be held from the 28th to 31st of this month and will be televised live on KBC Channel 1.
That story brings us to the end of the news this morning. Thank you so much for your company. My name is Marie Yambo. Up next is Victor Law with People and Politics.